Captain Jake Morrison felt his heart racing as he stared at the computer screen. The numbers could not be real. He looked at them again, then called his science officer over to the bridge. "Lisa, come here right now," Jake said into his radio. "Bring your best equipment." Dr. Lisa Rodriguez hurried to the bridge of the USS Frontier. She was a smart woman who had studied space science for many years. When she saw Jake's worried face, she knew something big was happening. "What did you find, Captain?" Lisa asked. Jake pointed at the screen. "Look at these readings from that old space station we found. Tell me what you think." Lisa looked at the numbers. Her eyes went wide. She checked the computer 3 times. Each time, the same impossible results appeared on the screen. "This cannot be right," she whispered. "These readings show time energy. But that is against the galaxy's most important law." The space station floated in empty space near the star Vega. It looked old and broken. No one lived there anymore. But inside, the computers still worked. And those computers held secrets that could destroy everything. Jake and Lisa had been exploring space for 2 years. They found many interesting things, but nothing like this. This discovery could change everything humans knew about the universe. "Tell me again about this law," Jake said. He knew the basics, but Lisa understood it better. Lisa sat down and took a deep breath. "Every species in the galaxy follows the temporal conservation principle. It says that time energy cannot be created or destroyed. Time just exists, and we must accept it as it is. No one can change time or make new time energy." "And what happens if someone breaks this law?" Jake asked. "They die," Lisa said simply. "The Galactic Council kills them. They have done this for 10,000 years. No exceptions." Jake looked back at the screen. The numbers were still there. The old station was creating time energy. Someone had broken the galaxy's most sacred law. "Who built this station?" he asked. Lisa checked her records. Humans built it 5 years ago. A team led by Dr. Alan Carter. They were studying time and space, but then they disappeared. Everyone thought they died in an accident. "Maybe they did not die," Jake said slowly. "Maybe they found something so dangerous that they had to hide." The 2 humans spent the next hour studying the station's data. What they found amazed them. Dr. Carter's team had discovered a way to create time energy from nothing. They could make time slow down or speed up. They could even make time go backward in small areas. This was impossible according to everything the galaxy believed. But the proof was right there in front of them. "We need to tell Earth about this," Lisa said. "Wait," Jake replied. "First, we need to understand what this means. If we can create time energy, what can we do with it?" Lisa studied the data more carefully. "According to this research, we could make shields that slow down enemy attacks. We could speed up our own ships. We could even heal injuries by reversing time around wounds." The possibilities were endless, but they were also terrifying. "Lisa, check our long-range sensors," Jake said suddenly. "I want to know if anyone else detected what we found." Lisa ran to her station and checked the equipment. Her face went pale. "Captain, I am reading massive energy signatures throughout the galaxy. Many different species are moving their war fleets. They are all heading in the same direction." "Which direction?" Jake asked, but he already knew the answer. "Toward Earth." Jake felt cold. The Galactic Council had found out about the human discovery. The most powerful species in the galaxy were coming to destroy humanity. "How long do we have?" he asked. "At maximum speed, the closest fleets will reach Earth in 3 days, Lisa said. Jake grabbed his radio and contacted Earth Command. The message took several minutes to reach home because of the vast distance. "Earth Command, this is Captain Morrison. Aboard the USS Frontier. We have discovered something that puts all of humanity in immediate danger. The Galactic Council is sending war fleets to destroy us. Estimated arrival in 72 hours. While they waited for a response, Jake and Lisa downloaded all the data from Dr. Carter's station. If humanity was going to survive, they would need every piece of information about time energy. The response from Earth came quickly. Admiral Helen Brooks herself spoke to them. "Captain Morrison, explain what you have found." Jake told her everything. About the station, about time energy, about the galaxy's supreme law. When he finished, there was silence for a long time. Finally, Admiral Brooks spoke again. "Captain, return to Earth immediately. Bring all the data. We are calling an emergency meeting of all world leaders." "What will you tell them?" Jake asked. "The truth," Brooks replied, "that humanity has broken a law we did not even know existed, and now the entire galaxy wants to kill us for it." As the USS Frontier turned toward Earth, Jake looked at the old research station one last time. Dr. Alan Carter and his team had made the greatest discovery in human history. They had found a way to break the rules that controlled the universe. But discoveries like this came with a price. Now humanity would have to fight for the right to exist. They would have to face every powerful species in the galaxy. Jake wondered, if humans were strong enough to survive what was coming, the war fleets racing toward Earth were beyond counting. Ships that could destroy planets were heading home to end human civilization forever. But humans had always been fighters. They had always found ways to survive impossible situations. Maybe this time would be no different. "Set course for Earth," Jake ordered. "Maximum speed." The USS Frontier jumped to faster-than-light travel, racing toward home with news that would change everything. Behind them, the abandoned research station continued to create impossible time energy. Proof that even the universe's most basic laws could be broken. The greatest war in galactic history was about to begin, and it had started with one simple discovery in the darkness of space. The meeting room at Earth Command had never seen anything like this before. Every important person on the planet sat around the big table. President Matthew Kane looked tired. He had not slept since Captain Morrison's message arrived. "Tell us again what we are facing," President Kane said to Admiral Helen Brooks. Admiral Brooks stood up and pointed to the big screen on the wall. It showed thousands of red dots moving toward Earth. "These are enemy war fleets," she said. "Every major species in the galaxy has sent ships. The Zephyrian Empire alone has 500,000 vessels. The Crystal People have sent their entire war machine. Even small species that usually stay neutral are joining the attack." General Patricia Wells, the head of Earth's military, shook her head. "Our entire space fleet has only 10,000 ships. Most of them are exploration vessels, not warships. We cannot fight this many enemies." Dr. Lisa Rodriguez sat next to Captain Morrison. She had been studying the time energy data non-stop since returning to Earth. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but her voice was strong. "We do not have to fight them the normal way," she said. "The time energy technology changes everything. We could create shields that slow down their attacks. We could speed up our own weapons." "That is just theory," General Wells replied. "We have never tested this technology in real combat. We do not even know if it works." Ambassador Carl Thompson had been quiet during most of the meeting. He was Earth's representative to the Galactic Council. He knew how the alien species thought. "I have some bad news," he said. "I contacted several council members to ask for mercy. They all said the same thing. No species has ever been allowed to break the supreme law and live. Not one." "What about the Altarians?" President Kane asked. "What happened to them?" Ambassador Thompson's face went dark. "The council erased them completely. They destroyed every Altarian world, every ship, every colony. They even removed all records of their existence from galactic history. It was like they never existed at all." The room became very quiet. Everyone understood what this meant. The galaxy's rulers would not just kill humans. They would wipe out every trace that humanity had ever lived. Dr. Rodriguez spoke up again. "But the Altarians did not have time energy technology. We do. That makes us different." "How different?" President Kane asked. "I have been studying Dr. Carter's research all night," she said. "He discovered something amazing. Humans are special. Our brains work with time energy better than any other species. We can control it in ways that should be impossible." Captain Morrison leaned forward. "What does that mean exactly?" "It means we can do things with time energy that the Council cannot imagine," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "We can think faster, move faster, even heal faster when we use this technology. Other species need big machines to create small time effects. Humans can do it with just our minds. General Wells looked interested for the first time. Can we use this to build weapons? Yes, but also defenses, Dr. Rodriguez said. I think we can create time bubbles around our ships and planets. Enemy attacks would slow down to almost nothing. Meanwhile, we could move and attack at normal speed. President Kane stood up and walked to the window. He could see the lights of the city below. Millions of people lived their normal lives, not knowing that alien fleets were racing toward Earth to destroy them all. How long do we have? He asked. 48 hours until the first fleets arrive, Admiral Brooks said. The main attack force will be here in 72 hours. That is not enough time to build new weapons, General Wells said. Maybe it is, Dr. Rodriguez replied. Dr. Carter's team built several prototype devices before they disappeared. The devices are hidden in secret locations around the solar system. We just need to find them and figure out how to use them. Ambassador Thompson shook his head. Even if we survive the first attack, more fleets will keep coming. The Council has ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They have resources we cannot imagine. Then we make sure they cannot use those resources, Captain Morrison said. Everyone looked at him. What do you mean? President Kane asked. The Council's power comes from controlling information and technology, Morrison explained. They have kept the time energy secret for thousands of years. But what if other species learned the truth? What if they found out the Council has been lying to them? Dr. Rodriguez nodded excitedly. That could work. If we can prove that the Council uses time energy in secret, other species might rebel against them. First, we have to survive the next 3 days, General Wells said. President Kane returned to his chair. The weight of humanity's future rested on his shoulders. Every choice he made in the next few hours would determine whether humans lived or died. Admiral Brooks, prepare all our fleets for battle, he ordered. General Wells, find those prototype devices Dr. Rodriguez mentioned. Get our best engineers working on them immediately. And if the technology does not work? General, Wells asked. Then we fight anyway, President Kane said firmly. Humans have always been survivors. We have faced extinction before and lived through it. This time will not be different. Dr. Rodriguez gathered her research papers. I will work with the engineering teams. If anyone can make this technology work, we can. As the meeting ended, Ambassador Thompson approached President Kane privately. Sir, I must ask one more time. Are you sure about this? We could still surrender. Maybe the Council would show mercy. President Kane looked at the ambassador for a long moment. Carl, humanity did not become the dominant species on Earth by surrendering. We became strong by fighting for what we believe in. Freedom is worth fighting for, even against impossible odds. Outside, the first enemy scouts were already entering the solar system. The greatest war in galactic history was about to begin. But humanity would not face it helplessly. They had discovered the universe's greatest secret, and they would use it to defend their right to exist. The next 72 hours would determine the fate of human civilization. Either they would join the Altarians in total extinction, or they would prove that even the galaxy's supreme law could be challenged by those brave enough to try. Dr. Kevin Park had been working for 18 hours straight. His hand shook as he drank his 5th cup of coffee. Around him, the secret laboratory buzzed with activity. Engineers and scientists worked desperately to turn Dr. Carter's research into real weapons. The power core is ready, shouted Dr. Amy Foster from across the room. She was the youngest member of the team, but also one of the smartest. We can generate enough time energy to protect the entire moon base. Kevin wiped sweat from his forehead. They had found Dr. Carter's hidden laboratory inside an asteroid near Mars. The place was filled with amazing devices that could bend time itself. But making them work was harder than anyone expected. How long can the shields last? Asked Commander Susan Blake. She was in charge of building Earth's new defenses. Her job was to turn scientific theories into military reality. Maybe 6 hours at full power, Kevin replied. After that, we need to recharge the cores. 6 hours is not enough, Blake said. The enemy fleets will attack for days, maybe weeks. Dr. Foster looked up from her computer. I have an idea. What if we do not keep the shields running all the time? We could turn them on only when attacks are coming. That would save a lot of energy. Kevin thought about this. That could work, but we would need to predict when attacks are coming, and we would need very fast computers to turn the shields on and off. I can handle the computer side, said Dr. Foster. But we need someone who can think as fast as the computers. That was when they made the most important discovery of all. Kevin had been testing the time energy on himself to see if it was safe. When he touched the energy field, something incredible happened. His mind started working much faster than normal. "Amy, look at this," he called out. Kevin placed his hand on the time energy generator. Suddenly he could see everything in the room moving very slowly. Dr. Foster was walking toward him, but she looked like she was moving through thick water. Kevin removed his hand and everything returned to normal speed. "What just happened?" Dr. Foster asked. "I think I know why humans are special," Kevin said excitedly. "When we touch time energy, we can speed up our own thoughts. Other species in the galaxy cannot do this. Only humans." Commander Blake heard this and came over quickly. "Are you saying humans can think faster than computers when we use this energy?" "Even better," Kevin replied. "We can think faster than anything in the galaxy. While enemy ships take minutes to react, we could respond in seconds." Dr. Foster started working on new calculations. If this is true, we could do amazing things. Human pilots could control ships that move faster than enemy weapons. Human soldiers could dodge attacks that should be impossible to avoid. Over the next 2 days, teams of scientists worked around the clock. They built time energy generators at secret bases throughout the solar system. Each base was hidden inside asteroids or on the dark side of moons. If the enemy found and destroyed some bases, others would continue fighting. Captain Danny Wright led the most dangerous missions. His job was to deliver the new technology to human colonies and other star systems. If Earth fell, these colonies would keep humanity alive. "This is Wright calling Earth Command," he said over his radio. "The Alpha Centauri base is ready. We have installed 3 time generators and trained 50 pilots." "Good work, Danny," replied Admiral Brooks. "What about the Tau Ceti colony?" "On my way there now," Wright said. "But I am seeing a lot of enemy scout ships. They are watching all the major trade routes." "Be careful out there," Brooks warned. "If they capture you, they will learn about our technology." Wright's ship, the USS Ranger, was equipped with the latest time energy systems. When enemy scouts got too close, he could slow down time around his ship and slip away before they knew what happened. At the main research facility, on Earth, Dr. Lisa Rodriguez made another breakthrough. She was studying the original Galactic Council laws when she found something shocking. "Everyone needs to see this," she announced to the team. "I found proof that the Council has been lying for thousands of years." The scientists gathered around her computer screen. "Look at these old records," Rodriguez said. "The Council's own documents describe how they use time energy for their ships and weapons. They have been using the technology they forbid everyone else to have." Dr. Foster shook her head in anger. "So the Supreme Law was never about protecting the galaxy. It was about keeping other species weak." "Exactly," Rodriguez replied. "The Council stays in power by making sure no one else can access the same technology they use." This discovery changed everything. Earth's leaders realized they were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting against thousands of years of lies and oppression. Meanwhile, long-range sensors showed that the main enemy fleet was getting closer. Over 3 million ships from dozens of different species were heading toward Earth. The largest war force in galactic history would arrive in less than 24 hours. General Wells coordinated the final preparations. Human ships took positions around Earth and Mars. Time energy shields were activated around all major cities. Millions of soldiers prepared for a battle that would determine humanity's fate. "All stations report ready," Wells announced over the military communication system. "Time generators are at full power. Defense platforms are online. All pilots are in position." President Kane made one last broadcast to the people of Earth. "Tomorrow we face the greatest challenge in human history. The entire galaxy has come to destroy us for discovering a truth they wanted to keep secret. But we will not give up. We will fight for our right to exist. We will fight for freedom. As night fell on Earth, everyone knew that sunrise would bring war. But for the first time since the crisis began, humans felt hope. They had weapons and defenses that the enemy could not imagine. More importantly, they had discovered that the universe's most powerful law could be broken. The galaxy was about to learn that humans would not go quietly into extinction. They would fight with everything they had, using power that was supposed to be impossible. The supreme law that had ruled for 10,000 years was about to meet its greatest challenge. The first enemy ships appeared at the edge of the solar system just as the sun rose over Earth. Admiral Helen Brooks watched from the bridge of the USS Liberty as thousands of alien vessels took attack positions. She had seen many battles before, but nothing like this. "All human ships, this is Admiral Brooks," she said into her radio. "Today we make history. Today we show the galaxy that humans will not be destroyed." Captain Lisa Martinez sat in the cockpit of her fighter ship. She was one of the first pilots trained to use time energy in combat. Her hands touched the special controls that connected her mind to the ship's time generator. "Red Squadron ready," she reported. "Time systems are working perfectly." Around Earth, the massive time shields flickered to life. The planet disappeared inside a bubble of twisted space and time. Enemy sensors could no longer see their target clearly. The Zephyrian Empire attacked first. 1,000 of their biggest ships fired planet-killing weapons at Earth. The beams of pure energy raced across space fast enough to destroy a world in seconds. But as the weapons reached Earth's time shields, something amazing happened. The deadly beams slowed down until they were barely moving. What should have taken seconds to hit the planet now would take hours. "Shields are working," reported Dr. Rodriguez from the command center. "Enemy weapons are moving so slowly we can walk around them." While the enemy attacks crawled through space, human ships moved at normal speed. Captain Martinez activated her fighter's time field and felt her mind speed up. The enemy ships around her seemed to freeze in place. She flew between the alien vessels, firing her weapons at targets that could not move fast enough to defend themselves. In just minutes, she destroyed 12 enemy ships. From their perspective, she was moving faster than light itself. "This is incredible," Martinez said over the radio. "They cannot even see us coming." But the aliens were not stupid. They had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years by learning to adapt quickly. The Vorthan Empire deployed their quantum disruptors, weapons designed to break time fields. "Martinez, get out of there," Admiral Brooks shouted. "Those disruptors can hurt you." Martinez tried to escape, but the quantum beam hit her fighter. Her time field collapsed, and suddenly the enemy ships were moving at normal speed again. She barely escaped as alien weapons fired all around her. "The Vorthans found a way to stop our time shields," she reported. "We need a new plan." Dr. Rodriguez worked frantically at her computers. "I can adjust the shield frequency," she said. "But it will take time." Commander Blake had a different idea. "What if we do not defend? What if we attack?" "Attack with what?" Admiral Brooks asked. "They have 3 million ships." "With time itself," Blake replied. "Dr. Carter's research showed we can make time weapons, not just shields." The human engineers worked faster than ever before. In just 2 hours, they built the first temporal cannon. It was a massive weapon that could fire shots backward through time. "Target the Zephyrian command ship," Brooks ordered. "Fire when ready." The temporal cannon fired. The shot traveled backward through time and hit the enemy flagship before the battle even started. The huge ship exploded, and suddenly the Zephyrian attack became disorganized. "How is that possible?" asked one of the alien commanders over the open radio channels. "We were hit before you fired." Dr. Foster activated more temporal weapons around the solar system. Shots that traveled through time struck enemy ships throughout the fleet. The aliens had never seen anything like it. But the Crystal people had a counterattack ready. Their hive mind allowed them to think as one giant brain. They coordinated attacks from thousands of ships at the same time, overwhelming the human defenders with pure numbers. "We are taking heavy damage," reported Captain Wright from the outer defense line. "They are attacking from too many directions at once." That was when Commander Blake activated the ultimate weapon. Hidden deep inside the moon was Dr. Carter's greatest creation, a temporal cascade generator. It could create a bubble of accelerated time around the entire human fleet. All human ships, Blake announced. Prepare for cascade activation in 10 seconds. The generator powered up, and reality itself bent around the human fleet. Suddenly, every human ship and weapon was moving 10 times faster than normal, while the enemy fleet seemed frozen in space. The effect was devastating. Human ships fired thousands of shots while enemy vessels managed only one. Entire alien fleets were destroyed in what appeared to be seconds from their perspective. Impossible, came voices over the alien communication channels. How can they move so fast? The tide of battle turned completely. Enemy ships that had seemed unstoppable were now sitting targets. Human fighters darted between the alien vessels, like deadly insects, striking and vanishing before the enemy could react. Admiral Brooks watched as the most powerful fleets in the galaxy began to retreat in panic. Ships that had traveled across the galaxy to destroy humanity were now running for their lives. All human ships, continue the attack, she ordered. Do not let them escape. But something even more important was happening throughout the galaxy. Other species were watching the battle through long-range sensors. They saw the mighty Galactic Council fleets being defeated by a species that had only recently learned to travel between stars. On worlds that had been enslaved for thousands of years, rebellions began to start. Species that had obeyed the Council, out of fear, suddenly realized that the Council's power was not absolute. Admiral, reported Captain Morrison from his scout ship, I am receiving messages from over 50 different species. They want to join our fight against the Council. Brooks smiled for the first time since the battle began. Tell them they are welcome. Today we are not just defending Earth. We are liberating the entire galaxy. The Battle of Sol ended with the complete defeat of the Council's forces. Of the 3 million ships that came to destroy humanity, less than half escaped. The rest were destroyed or captured by the human fleet. But the real victory was not military. It was the end of 10,000 years of tyranny. Species across the galaxy had seen that the supreme law could be broken, that the Council could be defeated. The galaxy would never be the same again. 6 months after the Battle of Sol, President Matthew Kane stood in the new Galactic Assembly building on Earth. Representatives from over 200 species filled the Great Hall. Many of these aliens had never been allowed to speak freely before. The old galaxy is dead, Kane announced to the crowd. Today we build something better. In the front row sat Ambassador Zara from the Andromedan Republic. Her people had been slaves to the Council for 3,000 years. Now they were free for the first time in their history. We thank the humans for showing us that freedom is possible, Zara said when it was her turn to speak. Our world's pledge, eternal friendship to Earth. Dr. Lisa Rodriguez watched from the observation deck. She was no longer just a science officer on an exploration ship. Now she led the Galactic Institute of Temporal Sciences. Scientists from hundreds of worlds came to Earth to learn about time energy. It is amazing how fast things have changed, she said to Captain Jake Morrison, who stood beside her. Morrison nodded. A year ago, we were just exploring space. Now, we are teaching the entire galaxy new science. But the changes went far beyond science. The old trade routes that the Council had controlled were now open to everyone. Small species that had been ignored for centuries were now important trading partners. Art, music, and ideas flowed freely between worlds for the first time in galactic history. General Patricia Wells had the hardest job of all. She was training the new Galactic Defense Force. Species that had been enemies for thousands of years now had to work together. The Crystals and the Vorthons are having trouble again, reported Colonel Bill Adams. He was Wells' second in command. They keep arguing about ship formations. Wells sighed. Take them to the training simulations. Let them see how well they fight when they work together. The training center on Mars had become the most important military base in the galaxy. Young officers from dozens of species learned to use time energy weapons. They also learned something more important, how to trust each other. Captain Lisa Martinez was now an instructor at the academy. She taught alien pilots how to fly ships equipped with temporal technology. Many of them struggled at first. Remember, she told her class of mixed-species pilots, time energy responds to your thoughts. Do not try to control it with force. Work with it like a partner. A young Zephyrian pilot raised his hand. Captain Martinez, my people have always been told that time cannot be changed. How do we forget thousands of years of teaching? Martinez smiled. By trying something new. The council told your people many lies. Time energy is just another tool, like gravity drives or energy weapons. Once you understand it, you can use it. Meanwhile, Dr. Amy Foster was making new discoveries every day. She had found Dr. Carter's secret research notes hidden throughout the solar system. Each discovery opened new possibilities. Look at this, she said to Dr. Rodriguez, showing her the latest find. Dr. Carter believed we could use time energy to heal diseases, grow food faster, even extend human lifespans. Are you sure it is safe? Rodriguez asked. We will test it carefully, Foster replied. But imagine if we could share this with the entire galaxy. No more hunger, no more disease, no more short lives. Not everyone was happy with the changes. The old council members had retreated to their homeworlds, but they had not given up. They were building new fleets and planning to take back control of the galaxy. Admiral Helen Brooks received intelligence reports about council activities every day. Her job was to make sure the new freedom lasted. They are gathering ships near the Rigel system, reported Captain Danny Wright during a security briefing. At least 50,000 vessels so far. Any signs of new weapons? Brooks asked. They are trying to copy our time energy technology, Wright replied. But they are not having much success. Their ships keep exploding during tests. Brooks was not surprised. Humans had discovered that time energy was dangerous if not used properly. Other species found it even harder to control. Keep watching them, she ordered. If they try to attack any free worlds, we will stop them. The biggest change was in how different species saw each other. For thousands of years, the council had kept species separate and suspicious. Now, they were learning to work together. On the trade world of New Harmony, humans worked alongside crystals to build better computers. Zephyrians and Andromedans shared their knowledge of energy systems. Even the shy Taucedians began to participate in galactic society. President Kane often walked through the markets of New Harmony. He loved seeing the mixing of different cultures and technologies. This is what the galaxy should have been all along, he told Dr. Rodriguez during one visit. People working together instead of being controlled by fear. But the greatest change was in young people throughout the galaxy. Children who grew up after the liberation had no fear of breaking old rules. They asked questions that their parents never dared to ask. Why did the council forbid time energy? Asked a young Andromedan student during one of Dr. Foster's lectures. Because they were afraid, Foster replied. They knew that if other species learned to use time energy, the council would lose their power. What other laws should we question? Asked another student. Foster smiled. All of them. Every rule, every tradition, every limit. Ask questions about everything. That is how we make progress. 5 years after the battle, Captain Morrison found himself commanding the exploration ship USS New Frontier. His mission was to explore the galaxy's outer regions, looking for species that the Council had hidden or forgotten. Captain, called his science officer, we are detecting energy signatures from an unknown civilization. Morrison looked at the readings. They showed a species using technology that was completely different from anything in the galaxy. Set course to investigate, he ordered. Let us see who else is out there. As the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed, Morrison thought about how much had changed. The galaxy that once seemed so controlled and limited was now full of infinite possibilities. Humanity had not just won a war. They had proven that progress was always possible, that no law was too sacred to question, and that freedom was worth any price. The supreme law that had ruled the galaxy for 10,000 years was gone forever. In its place was something better, the right of all beings to reach for the stars and break any barrier that stood in their way. The future belonged to those brave enough to seize it.